Hi there, dear Truth Warriors, and welcome back to the channel. For all the new subscribers, welcome and thank you for subscribing. My name is Petra. I'm a life coach and advocate for survivors of narcissistic and emotional abuse. Now, recently I've received a couple of requests, one of them being, can you make a video on the fact that friends and family don't understand narcissistic abuse, and this makes it very frustrating and very isolating to targets of narcissistic abuse. Now, the first thing, of course, to understand is that narcissistic abuse is a very lonely and a very isolating experience, because all of it is going on the inside. All of it is playing mind games, of course. It's working on your emotions, working on your feelings. That is what the abuse, the insidious abuse, is all about. And that is why, for the outside, if people see you on the outside, they have no clue as to what is going on. Whereas, for example, with physical abuse, of course, that's very visible. So everyone can see that you are in a very challenging and very abusive relationship. And this is simply not the case when you are going through emotional abuse, because no one can see it. And the thing is also that we have all been conned. The targets have been conned. The family and friends around us have been conned. Everyone is conned by this very, not even clever, just very, very evil con artist. And this is something that they will use. This is what they've been practicing all their lives. As I've said in a video 2 or 3 years ago, that especially a covert narcissist is like a chameleon. They will just change the way they present themselves, change their colors, change their way of talking when they have an audience, and the audience being your friends and family. So when you dare to speak up and say to friends and family, look, I'm really going through a trying time. I believe I'm being abused, emotionally abused. This is something that family and friends will not be able to grasp, because they cannot see it. This is human nature, really, is that we tend to only want to believe what we see and not so much how we feel. And even explaining your feelings to family and friends is a huge task, because there is nothing more difficult than trying to explain what you have been through with the abusive and toxic person in your life. You cannot find the right words to relay what it is that you've been going through. And for myself, this was also true. When I tried to relay to friends and family what had gone on, what I was experiencing, how I was feeling, this was something that they just couldn't grasp. And it's not because they didn't want to grasp it. It was because they were also being conned by the toxic person or people in my life. So it's very difficult to relay your story. And, this is oftentimes as well when, not only with friends and family, but also when you visit a therapist or you see a psychologist or a coach, and these therapists and coaches have no idea of the impact of narcissistic abuse, then they will also tend to not fully believe you. They will tend to shame you and to blame you and to ask you to do things differently. Maybe you should change your behavior because what you are doing and what you are saying is antagonizing the abuser in your life. So this is a whole lot of shame and blame, and oftentimes it's done unconsciously. But sometimes, as I've also said in one of the videos I've made, is that therapists and coaches and psychologists will go about abusing you because they themselves are toxic. But that's a whole different video. Let me not go down that road. This is about the friends and the family. And there is no way, and I think this has a lot to do with the fact that in general we are raised to not express our emotions, to not express our feelings, to people please. And thank goodness there's a shift in that coming right now in the society we're living in. But if I just look at my generation, this is the way we were raised, to not express your emotions and feelings. If anything, keep other people comfortable. Don't tell people, don't hang out your dirty laundry. Don't tell people how you really feel, because that would offend them, that would hurt their feelings. So this is, when you're raised in that dynamic, and in a societal dynamic as well, you tend to not be able to, we have simply not been taught how to express our emotions. And I'm very happy to see that there is a shift in that as well, where people are telling more of their truths, telling more of their story, in order to release the energy, very toxic energy that you store, the feelings that you suppress, in order to keep the abuser comfortable. So toxic people usually go about calling you the target, the crazy one. And this is what they will also relay to your friends and family if they get the chance. So there are these, magnificent stories are told by the toxic person, by the narcissist, to the friends and family. And they will take one little grain of truth, and they will then go about telling lies, building lies around that story. So you have this fabulous story that, when it's told, is so convincing that then your family and friends are also conned by this person. And they will tell you to get over it, that the abuser did not mean it in the way it was said or in the way it was done. And this will make you feel even more isolated. This is this is one thing that a narcissist is good at, is fabricating all these lies, telling all these stories, making it sound so truthful and so genuine that everyone around them will be conned. This is what they do. This is the whole intention of their existence, is to con other people, is to make other people feel bad about themselves, simply because they are projecting onto you. They feel very bad about themselves. They feel empty on the inside. This is what they'll project. So just looking at my own story, when I tried to relay what I had experienced and what I had been through throughout the narcissistic friendships, through my very toxic relationship very many years ago, my friends and family supported me to some degree, but I could also feel that there was this in-between space, this gap, where they probably thought I was the crazy one, that I was making up these stories. You could see it, and it could just be a comment they would make, or it could just be their body language, and I would realize that they were just simply not getting what I was trying to relay to them. And I must say that there was my mother, especially in this last friendship that I went through with the narcissistic person, is that I relayed a lot of stuff to my mother, and my mother did stick to my side, and she did believe me. She couldn't really fathom out what I was trying to say to her, but she said, look, I support you all the way. Whatever you're going through, I will support you. And so it was too for a very good friend of mine that I've known for very many years. She was clueless. As she said to me, I can see that something is not right just by the way you're acting. You're making yourself smaller when in the presence of this toxic friend, the other toxic friend. She said, but I really don't get what's going on. I just don't get why you just don't break off the friendship and get on with your life. Just get over it, And even with this toxic friend in my life, I think I broke off that friendship maybe 2, 3, 4 times. I don't even remember. And then after a while, when my emotions had subsided, and when I got into analyzing what was going on, I kept on going back to the friendship. And this is just the thing. It's not only about cognitively understanding what you have been through, but it's also feeling what you have been through. And oftentimes what we tend to do is want to analyze everything, find a reason for everything, and in doing so we disregard our feelings and our emotions. When you cannot separate your mind from your body, you are whole. It's a whole package. So you cannot cognitively heal and then forget about your emotions and feelings. It has to be the whole package. You have to give equal attention to the analyzing and also to your feelings. So this is again what my healthy friend did not understand, what my mother didn't understand, the people around me didn't understand, is that, you know, cognitively they could also see what was going on, but they couldn't connect to what I was feeling. And that was because I couldn't connect to it either. So when you cannot connect to what you are emotionally going through and what you're feeling, then it's also very hard to relay to someone else. So, you know, the best thing, if you have loving friends and family around you who really are in support of you, but who don't grasp what is going on, just, you know, don't hold anything against them for this. It is simply because they are also being conned. And you know what you go through. You are being conned, and you are in a constant state of cognitive dissonance when you are in these toxic relationships. So don't hold it against family and friends who truly support you. But get into a support group, for example, or let your family and friends watch this video or other videos that are, you know, that talk about this subject, and get yourself into a support group. Those, you know, the people who have been through narcissistic abuse are the ones who are going to get you. So I have a support group, a closed support group on Facebook. You can join us there just to be able to relay your stories with people who really get you. You don't have to say much, they just get what you're going through. And also start truly listening to your feelings. Don't make it all about cognitively or intellectually understanding what's going on, but also get in touch with your feelings. Honor those feelings. Because when you honor those feelings, when you relay your story, when you can sit in the feeling of grief and pain and disappointment and confusion, that is when you give it space to simply be there. And when you give something space, when you hold space for yourself, that is when you can start to heal. So don't waste too much time and energy trying to make your healthy friends and family understand what's going on. Just write out your feelings, get into a support group, put comments down here below this video and share your story with other survivors in this YouTube family or community. That is the way to go. And of course, for some of you who are going through toxic abuse, or who have been toxic abuse, who have been through narcissistic abuse, oftentimes your family and friends are just as toxic, you know, especially if you've grown up in a dysfunctional home with toxic or narcissistic parents. Then this is what, because that is your normal, because that is your frame of reference, you tend to tolerate abuse from others in the form of other friendships or relationships. And when this happens, then of course you are just caught in this pit, in the snake pit of toxicity. So then there is even no point in trying to explain to other toxic people what you are going through, because they are all, you know, they are all doing the same thing. So there is really no point in relaying that. So I hope that has helped some. I'm just checking my notes to see if I've forgotten anything. No, I think I've spoken about everything that I jotted down. Another thing to remember is that, especially when you have just been discarded by the narcissist, or if you have ended the relationship, is that you will go through a couple of weeks, couple of months, sometimes even years, where you cannot find stability. You just feel so out of touch with yourself, with people around you, and you will just feel as if you're free falling. You'll feel that you cannot find your footing, you cannot ground yourself. And in that case, you know, get a good therapist, get a good coach. Talk through this, get someone to support you and coach you and hold you, help you to hold space for yourself as well through this whole experience. So again, hope that has helped some. Take care of yourselves. I just pray for everyone's safety, and be blessed in these very trying times that we are going through worldwide. Keep yourself safe, and connect. Let's connect on Instagram. Let's connect in the support group on Facebook. Looking forward to speaking to all of you again very soon. So keep those topics coming in. Again, a huge thank you. Thank you for your continued support of this channel, and thank you again to all the new subscribers. And Take care of yourselves. Have an awesome day.